Hi, I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the great pleasure speaking with the one and only Sister Briege McKenna, who, along with Henry Libersat, years ago wrote a classic book, Miracles Do Happen. God Can Do the Impossible. Of course, the book is available through our catalog, as is an audio version, which Sister reads herself. Tell us, Sister, going back to 1987 when this book was published, what is Miracles Do Happen about, and why did you write it?
Miracles Do Happen was written at the inspiration from the Lord to write about the healing ministry. And I was known for my stories, of course, and I was known because many miracles in the beginning. I was very involved with the charismatic renewal. And so when I got this inspiration from the Lord to write the book, my reaction was, I don't really have time. But the next 2 days after the thought came to me, even though I'd been asked for 8 years, and I thought it's an ego trip and everybody's writing books, and what do I have to write about? It's amazing how you can think, well, what do you write about?
Right.
Because you have to have a topic. Anyway, I was out in Orlando and I met Henry Libersat. And Henry Libersat made the statement, I'm very disappointed Mother Angelica didn't ask me to help her with her book. And as he's saying that, I heard, no, it's me to help. So there was no computer. So I thought, I'll ask Henry, word processor. Right. So I said to Henry, how would writing a book with me? And he said, oh, I would love to, Sister Briege. Well, I said, I don't know what it's supposed to be about yet. So we made a plan, we prayed, and I went away for 2 weeks with him and his wife, and the Bishop gave us permission of the Blessed Sacrament. So I started the book. 5 days into it, the book was practically written. And it was written through, all I can say, Doug, is it was not any research. So it's not hard to read. But it was like, and I had a good memory, and it was like having a rag bag, and you're taking things out, to find what would be suitable for this story. And in those 5 days, I wrote it. But sad that when it was written, and Henry brought it to the publishers, whoever was looking at it felt it was too Catholic at the time. And that...
I hope so.
and that they would like to change 3 chapters. And these 3 chapters were the 3 chapters that Henry himself spoke about what happened. Because on the chapter of the priesthood, he got sick. The chapter on the Eucharist, lightning hit the machines. And something else happened on Our Lady. And those were the 3 chapters that the publishers asked me, could they change things to make it more suitable for other Christians.
Yes, for the Protestant market.
So
right.
My Irish in me, I said, no way, I didn't write it for other Christians. It's my story and it's my belief of the Catholic Church. So it was published, first published in Ireland actually, even though the rights were in America. And it became a bestseller. Right. And then, of course, it started spreading. And that's how it's out now many years. But the very first person that read it, I read the book on my way back from South Dakota or someplace when it just came out. And one of the nuns in England contacted me and she said, your book has arrived here, because it was over in Ireland, you see, and went to Australia and all over the Commonwealth countries. She said, and our neighbour read the chapter in the Sacrament and she had a marvellous healing of a paralysed arm. Wow. And I thought, it's not just the reading of it, but it's the stimulation of their faith. Right. And activating faith in people, with the stories. And that's how I think it's spread, because people love stories. Right. And the stories are connected to their faith. Right. And it makes it real. And so that's how it all happened.
So when you actually were during those 5 days, were you, like sometimes Mother many times would write in front of the Blessed Sacrament and she would use longhand?
I didn't write at all.
You spoke it?
I just talked into a talking machine.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. So
yeah, I got up at 4:30 and I did 3 hours before the Blessed Sacrament. Then I went to Mass. Then I came home and had my breakfast. And then I took this little dictaphone machine and I talked into it.
Probably was a cassette recorder or something.
Oh, you cassette, or some little thing that you hold in your hand. And he was in there with the word processor. He said he had an Irish brogue by the time he had finished. And he took all the stories, everything.
I see.
But the interesting thing that the chapters, the title for the chapter I got, when I would get a line that would suit the chapter. It was you couldn't write it. I tell you, I have to be humble enough to say, when I read it, I said, there's no way I could have written this. And Henry said the same. He said, there's no way that I could have captured your personality and the whole sense of you, just taken it from a word processor.
Right, and that's why when you read this book, it's like Mother's books. You really hear your voice.
That's what people say. You know, that in the talking book, they asked me would I put it on tape, and it was Dan Rosemary. They taped it, had me tape in this little tiny studio in Ireland. And I thought, I'll never be able to read it because I'll be correcting it. I'll be thinking I could say that better. You know how you read something a couple of years. In one morning, I read the whole book. I never made any, it was phenomenal. And but the good thing is, at the end of the book, I prayed. I said, well, it's to them now. I'm here. I might as well pray at the end of the book after telling them all these stories. And it's doing very well. But it's not as popular as the book, I have to say. The book is still... This book is still selling, and at parish missions, it's a great opportunity for me, because at the parish missions, I sit at the back of the church and I talk to the people. I sign the book for them. So it's a personal touch.
Right, absolutely. Always a personal touch with Sister Briege McKenna. Miracles do happen. God can do the impossible. Absolutely. You got to check this book out through our EWTN Religious Catalog. Look for the interview I did with Sister about this book and her great work as well on our YouTube channel, on our on-demand platform, and coming soon on the network. I'm Doug Keck. This has been a Bookmark Brief. We'll see you next time. Thanks.